Hi, everyone. This is Ashlyn Harris, and welcome to Wide Open. I had such a great time connecting and talking to Nikki and Brie Garcia, formerly known as the Bella Twins. These are two really rad women, and they show up fully and they represent themselves over and over and over again in such a real and authentic way. And they're so grounded. They're great moms. They're great people. I always get geeked out because I grew up watching wrestling, and just to see two badass women paving the way and trailblazing for just strength and power and showing what's possible in the ring was something I've always gravitated towards. And honestly, I'm envy because I wanted to be a professional wrestler and I ended up being a professional soccer player. So I get to live my life through them. I grew up in Florida, so everything in Florida is wrestling. And I had an older brother, and my dad and my brother watched it religiously. And I literally grew up with The Undertaker and Hulk Hogan and all of these legends, Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I just remember me and my brother just always pretending we were professional wrestlers. And what I love so much about Nikki and Brie is I didn't get the opportunity to see many women, and I think what's so freaking cool is they were the trailblazers. Like they showed how, like, they gave women permission to be beautiful and blunt and a badass. And I just wish I had that as a kid. Like I've always wanted to be a wrestler. And, during that time it was like wrestling and Mortal Kombat. And I like kind of sat in the middle of it. So it's such nostalgia. Yeah, it's nostalgia for my youth. If I had, oh my gosh, my wrestling name, oh God. My first soccer team was called the Lightning. So there would be something, you know, yeah, there would be something in that type of world with lightning, not to mention I am obsessed with I grew up watching Gladiators. Hello. So there would be Malibu and China and lightning, that would probably, she would be something along that world. That would be my name. With Brie and Nikki, we really dive into who they are, not just what they do, and how they continue to reinvent themselves over and over and over. They're entrepreneurs, they are moms, they have insane creativity, and they're incredibly intelligent business women. They've started a wine company, they've had, all these different types of genres that they've tapped into over the years. And I think that's really setting the bar for a lot of women who have come up in the industry, whether it's entertainment or sports, that your career doesn't die when when you stop playing or stop wrestling or stop acting. There's so much more to what we do, than how we show up for our work. And I think they're really a testament to that. They've reinvented themselves over and over. Yes, reinvention. And they're showing, like, their podcast is incredible. They're everywhere. These women are absolutely everywhere, and they've really transcended their sport and their entertainment piece in wrestling. And I think I love that about them, and I'm trying to do the same thing. So it's a great reminder that we're so much more than what we do. All right, everyone, let's get into the show. Here's Nikki and Brie Garcia. Welcome back to Wide Open. I'm Ashlyn Harris, and today I get to sit down with two women who need little introduction. Nikki and Brie Garcia. You probably know them as the Bella Twins from their legendary run in the WWE. But their story goes way beyond the ring. They've become entrepreneurs, podcasters, winemakers, mothers, cultural forces who continue to redefine what it looks like to build a career and a life on their own terms. I've had the chance to meet with them a few times in different events, and every time what stood out to me is how grounded, real, and down to earth they are. Which, when you think about the wild ride they've been on, it's pretty incredible. Today, we're going to talk about the transitions they've made, the risks they've taken, and the balance of being both businesswomen, moms, and still chasing their passions. Welcome to the show, ladies.
So excited.
Yes.
Well, if you didn't know, it's Libra season, and your girl is actually turning 40 next week.
Shush.
No way. Happy birthday season.
Honestly.
And welcome to the club, the 40s.
I heard it's
club.
better. Yeah, I heard it's better on the other side. Tell me everything. What do I have to look forward to?
Okay, so one thing I noticed when I got to my 40s, but I feel like you're kind of already like this, but I just didn't care at all. It was like I was just free of like caring about nothing. And so it was like no F's given. I say what I want. Nothing bugs me. And so I don't know. That's what my 40s have done for me.
Yeah. Well, and I also feel like we've all talked about this midlife crisis. And what I've realized being in my 40s, I'm like, no, it's not a midlife crisis. You just get to a point in your life when you get into your 40s and you go, I'm going to do the things I want. I don't care about what people say, like Brie says. So when people were like buying Ferraris or like divorcing and wanting to like just be with other people, it was because we realized we have half our life left and we're going to do what we want.
They were rebirthing.
It's on our
exactly.
It's our terms now.
Yes.
Which I love.
Yes.
Me obsessed.
So what are you going to do for your birthday?
I don't know. Sophia has some tricks up her sleeve. And if you know anything about me, I hate surprises. I hate feeling like I have to entertain or be the center of attention.
Yeah.
So kind of my worst nightmare. I'm like, can we just go to like Majorca? I don't know, alone?
Yeah.
I would really love a sexy vacay, but it seems that's not going to happen. So
too big.
You can't always get what you want.
No. But you and I did a solo like Como trip. Like
that was actually magical for our 40th birthday.
Ooh.
So we didn't do anything.
I could do that.
It was incredible. It was.
So I do want to peel back the layers a little bit because how fucking cool is it that you two are sisters and twins and like you've had a homie and a sidekick your whole life and you still like each other.
Yeah, it's wild.
I'm like, how did you do it? Yeah. And I not like because that's such a long loaded question, but did you always know your star power as a young kid?
Well, you know what's interesting is Nikki and I mean, I will say we've been blessed. We were born with a best friend. We never had to experience the first day of school alone. Even like when we were on the soccer team, it was like, you know, people knew like if you take out Brie, Nikki will run up the field and then take you out. Like, so I did always have this sidekick bodyguard. But I think the one thing that Nikki and I, like at a very young age, we always had each other's back. Like we were never, because some twins can get in competition with each other and hate each other. It's wild. We've met twins that hate each other, but and I, we instantly were like, okay, my weaknesses are Nikki's strengths and her weaknesses are my strengths. And we were just each other's number one cheerleader. Like I felt like you and I always pushed each other, rooted each other on.
Totally. And what was neat too, and I've realized this, especially over the years, but growing up, Brie and I really drew people in where they felt like they can open up and like be in this safe place. And I don't know if it's because, you know, growing up, when you have an identical twin, you just have someone that you can say anything to isn't going to judge you. It's this judgment-free zone.
Yeah.
They'll hit you with the truth and all that like happened at such a young age. But I felt like Brie and I drew in so many different style of people in that way. Wouldn't you say, Brie? And it's kind of over the years it just made us different and stand out in that way.
And we all
superpowers.
Yeah, and we were entertainers. Like her and I, we loved. Yes. Oh yeah. We would dress up as the Spice Girls and my parents would like throw these boxing parties. And we were like, okay, at intermission, we want to perform for everyone. And my parents were like, all right. And so we would like lip sync to all them, like the Spice Girls, and we'd be all dressed up. But we were performers at a young age. So we were athletes, but we were also performers, which is why WWE was perfect.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I have to share this story because it's so good. And I don't know if I've ever shared this anywhere, ever. So It's funny that you both chose wrestling, and I mean, I'm from Florida. Like, it was a way of life.
Oh,
like,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
hello, that was on. That's all we watched. Every Halloween, I was the Undertaker, or I was like Hulk Hogan.
Oh, dang.
Stone Cold. What is it? Steve Austin.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you name it. And then Mortal Kombat was around. So we would always put them together, right? Like King of the Mountain, King of the Hill. But when we couldn't be outside, that was like what we played. Like if you could stay on the bed and you could throw all your siblings and your cousins off and your friends, like you were winning the game.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember he was my teammate at the time, Craig Micheletti. I had him, and he like was bullying me a little bit and like being an asshole. And he was like thick. So like I had his shoulders this was a really fuck around and find out moment for him. And it was on his bed, and I was fucking throwing everyone off, and I was like, King of the Jungle, and literally threw him off and flipped him off of the bed, and he landed on a turtle cage sitting down.
Shit.
Glass everywhere. It like in him. 911 had to be called.
Oh,
Blood
my
was
gosh.
everywhere. So pretty much what I'm saying is
You should have been a wrestler.
Should have been a wrestler.
You should. Hey, it's never too late.
I mean, I still am in my 30s.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Hey,
and this is what I love is because you guys were literally doing the Royal Rumble. And you just, in order to win, sometimes you got to do some ugly moves to get people off. And that's just that.
You'd be a good heel.
You know what? I am a competitor.
Yeah.
And really was a rich moment for my buddy Craig that probably will never live that day down.
Oh, no. You tombstoned him. He got his
welcome.
rest in peace.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So as we were all performers at a young age, clearly, why did we pick wrestling? Because what I've heard is we were quite the soccer player.
I know.
Oh, yes.
Both of you, it
was weird because soccer, soccer was our lives. And we were on club and our team was doing incredible. And Nikki and I both, getting soccer scholarships. And it was weird because our senior year was a really defining moment for us. Unfortunately, my senior year, my boyfriend passed away. He was killed he was killed by a drunk driver. It was my senior year, January. And that was a big turning point in my life. And I think, I was 18. You feel like you have the whole world figured out at that time. And when something like that happens, I gave up everything. Like that was it for me. Like kind of in my eyes, life was done. I wanted to figure out something new. And so my journey shifted. And then Nikki, unfortunately, broke her leg in half.
Yeah.
Literally right.
And in a high school game, which, those, not that they don't mean anything, but for any of us who were club players and going to college, like you had to pause it to like be on your high school team. Like at least in Arizona, you weren't allowed to play club. You had to take those few months off.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in like one of our last games and just snapped my tibia right in half.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And doing that your senior year, a lot of things changed for me. And when I look back, I could have fought through, but I wasn't in the right mental place at that time. We had a lot going on in our home, which was a very broken home. Brie was going through everything with Bear. That happened a week later. So it was like a boom.
Oh my God.
And it just, like Brie said, there was a turning point. And when we both graduated high school, we both just said, F Arizona, and we drove to San Diego where we were born and where we had family to start a new life. And then soccer came back around for me, which it needed to because I was just in a place where I had so much trauma done beyond the soccer field, like just stuff in my personal life, that I needed that back in my life to shape me. And then what was kind of crazy is then it brought in wrestling.
Yes.
But yeah, it was weird how we both had that turning point senior year within a week of each other.
It was like,
wow.
trauma. Yeah. It really changed everything. And I think when Nikki and I, when we graduated high school, we were like, let's get the fuck out of here. We did need a job, and we were like, well, where can we make some good money? We're 18, and that's when Hooters came in our life. So we became Hooter girls.
Yes. Who doesn't love a good chicken wing?
Right? I mean, especially when you're from Florida, it's like iconic.
It's totally iconic. And we had Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
I don't know if that, we had it all in Florida.
You guys did. You did.
No shame. I was there. I was like, Dad, let's go.
Yeah. But so what was cool is Nikki and I, being Hooter girls, we always showed the wrestling pay-per-views, and we watched wrestling. We just weren't big fans because my brother was obsessed. But I saw this thing that was on a search for female wrestlers. It was called Diva Search. And for anyone who ever watched Glow, it was kind of like that, where you're like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, I can be a female wrestler, and you're thinking of your character, and, her and I being athletic, we're like, we just had the mentality that we can do anything. And so that's how we stumbled across wrestling was.
Wow.
And this is before social media. So this is straight up a flyer, like figuring it out.
Like pulled it at Hooters?
No, it wasn't at Hooters. It was like we were at this time in Los Angeles.
We gotta make a movie.
I know.
Make a movie. What are we doing?
But that's what I like when I look at kids nowadays. I feel like they wouldn't even know how to function without social media and all those things. I'm like, we all made it before social media. And
thank God.
You can.
Thank God.
Thank God.
Thank God.
Oh my God.
So grateful for that. But yeah,
we really
it's
dodged.
Crazy. We really dodged. I mean, we got so lucky.
My college days, honey, in high school, I was like, whoa.
Oh, I would have. Oh man, I'm
very grateful. Yeah. What, 16
we made it.
We made it. 22 was not on record.
So we just are like, we're going for this. We make a group decision. Is this how you both operate all the time? It's like you're both all in. I assume you've never played on different teams. You were always on the same team.
Always.
Except I do have to say, Brie, though, when we got into San Diego, and like a year later, I started to play soccer again, and she didn't. So I was playing college ball. She would show up to my games in like the littlest outfits, making signs for me, like go with like some of our other Hooter friends. And they're all watching me play soccer. And then she came to me about the Diva Search. And I was like, I don't know. I'm like, they really wrestle. Like, it's not like we have to wear bikinis or anything. And she's like, no. So that was like a different.
Well, and you were thinking about playing pro soccer in Italy.
Yeah, because the women's league at that time had folded here.
Yes.
I remember being in talks with the Arizona Heat Wave. And then when all of that went down, breaking my leg and stuff, all that went away. Went to San Diego, and then I went and played. A coach who knew of me from Arizona was like, just come walk on. Like, it's Grossmont College. Like, we could use your help. And so he then was helping me find my place in Italy, right, when she came to me about Diva Search. And I had to make this decision. Do I go to Italy and play soccer, or do I go be a wrestler? And I fell in love. When we went to that audition,
it was bonkers.
I was like, oh.
Do you guys like laugh a little bit? Like, how do you take it? Like, you have to be so, I mean, I'm so into it because I was raised on it. Are you kidding me? It's hilarious. Like, how did you were like, well, thank God I was a Spice Girl all those years in the living room.
Well, real.
Well, and
you have to really
that
commit.
helps. Yeah.
It definitely did. Well, and I think a Diva Search, when Nikki and I showed up, we had like ponytails, no makeup on, and we made these tank tops. Mine said Breezy Fashizi and hers said Nicole Fasho. And like when we walked in, but this is the best. We're wearing like kicks and stuff. When we walked in, everyone was dressed up as like go-go dancers. And we were like, oh gosh. And she was going to kill me. And I'm like, I swear this is like all about wrestling. And she was like, Brie. But then when we actually go on the audition, they like tore us apart. They're like, your boobs aren't big enough. You're not the look. Like, we like walked out and we were like, what?
Well, no, we first kept promos on them. We went at them. Like, well, you want to know what? This is what you all need to change about yourself. And that's when we walked off. They go get those girls. We need them.
Oh my God, I love
are perfect.
this. Your identity was born in that moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
They could tell we were feisty.
Definitely. But it was funny because when we had started training, we would, Brie, have those moments of laughing when like one would be selling like, like doing this stuff. Because in the beginning, it is uncomfortable. You're like, wait, can she just really hit me? Like, I'd rather sell a real hit than like not a real hit.
For sure.
What I don't want is either one of you hitting me. That's where I would really have to draw the line. And let alone, I saw the Ronda Rousey moment. I mean, that chick would destroy me.
Oh, she's so crazy strong. So being in the industry for so long, and then when I knew I was doing that story with her, I remember the first time she gave me a slam just like everyone else. I was like, oh, that feels different. I was like, it was just had this power to it where I was like, holy shit. Like, she's a beast. That is a different breed of a woman. That slam, any of her judo tosses she would do, I was like, oh shit, I would never get in an octagon against her. Ever.
No, thank you. But you've both been in the spotlight now for so long. And I'm curious, how would you describe yourself today outside of, the Bella Twins identity? What does that look like for you? Because I know you're dabbling back a little bit in it, but, you've both been trailblazers in showing what's possible for women in the WWE, which is a pretty male-dominated sport, to say the least.
Yeah.
But like, how do you show up now?
Yeah.
Like, what does that look like?
Well,
good question.
It is, and I have to say I've been blessed because having a twin, we've kept each other humble our whole entire time on television. So I feel like the journey for me has been easier for maybe people who might go in entertainment solo because Nikki and I have always had each other. But I think the greatest thing for me, my identity, is I started to really write down, because Nikki and I love journaling, but like what makes me happy and like what really makes my heart beat. So I was always like drawn to the environment and being, an activist for, the planet and animals and really what I believe, the voiceless. And I started to realize like anytime I'm in that world, I glow. And like, I feel like me. And so I, coming out of being like known as the wrestler, now I feel like kind of like I'm the planet's champion. Like I'm kind of like, that's my new tag partner. And that's really where I feel like I see myself now in that world.
Well, because no one has really recreated themselves successfully as much as you both.
Right.
And that's
thank you.
That is a special thing to do, because what I have noticed more than anyone is when you become an athlete, you live in that identity and you don't know what it's like outside of it, and you get really fucking blurred vision and you get jaded. And truthfully, and I say this with the utmost respect, like, we didn't cure cancer. We were performers. Yep. Our job was to perform for the people, to bring them joy, to bring them a moment of happiness, which Jesus Christ is so vital more than ever right now. But I will say that like walking away from the WWE, in this Bella brand was such a huge move. What gave you that courage to step into this new era of the Garcia twins?
Yeah.
So, it's funny because when we've talked about growth before, the past 2 decades, I've realized I've had a tremendous amount of growth. And it's uncomfortable, and you get to see the results, and you put in the work, and you get those results. And the one thing that I've realized, the fans started to call me Fearless Nikki. What I realized is over time, I finally started to walk as Fearless Nikki. It was more than a character. And when that time came, it was like you make those decisions, but you stop and you go, wait, I think God, he put this in my path. And I could either make a stand for myself and for women and for my worth, knowing that tomorrow I'm going to still see the sunrise. the career might look different, but the things that truly matter, my son, my sister, my surroundings, my family, my faith, that's going to all be there. And as long as I know God has me, then like, I know things are going to be okay. And I feel like for Brie and I, we just knew in that moment, we had to stick to what we believed in. And when we made that choice, I started to be like, wait, I'm truly now living as fearless Nikki. I'm finally fearless in my decisions beyond the ring. And I've recognized my worth. And I know that if something goes away, then it wasn't meant for me now. And maybe it'll come back, which it has, because it was kind of like taking my stand of like knowing what was right. And
I love that.
Yeah, and standing for that. And
For
so
sure.
that, yeah.
Well, that's it's such a powerful answer. And it's so beautifully said. And I like, when I think about that, you know, when I think about like, even when I knew it was time to step away, it's one thing knowing and one thing doing, right? You two have done podcasting, companies, wine companies, beauty companies, brand, clothing companies, you meet reality shows. Like, you have checked so many boxes. My real question is, when did you really realize like, oh, we can be something so much bigger than just wrestling?
Oh, I love that. I think it was honestly the reality show Total Divas. You know what it was? It was like when we filmed the pilot, I'll never forget all of us girls being like, do you think the world's really going to care about like female wrestling, and let alone us female wrestlers? And I think when the show went, it was just a huge hit. It was almost like, whoa, people care. And then you all of a sudden realize your platform, and then people are listening, and like people were getting invested. And I just remember thinking like, wow, like Nikki and I knew like all of a sudden, like we were something more than just in the ring. People started to care who we were outside of the ring. And that's when we knew like, okay, we can, instead of dropping, drop kicks from the top rope our whole lives, like we can do something more than just that.
Right. We totally found our power in who we were and our worth, because I feel like for so long, and we've talked about this, it's like everyone makes you believe like you're going to be nothing without us. You better listen. You better, follow the rules and do all the things. And you start to believe that like, I need them. And the reality show really started to make us believe like, wait, people are interested in us and who we are, our lives, the barriers we've broken, our journey of, how tough childhood could be, or, our ups and downs, showing the ugly. People appreciated that, the bicker between sisters and how siblings are. We were very real and raw, and people got attached to that. And I was like, see, no more can they tell me that I'm, can be replaced, because my journey, my life, who I am, I can't be replaced in this anymore. People are now attached to it, and now our worth has gone beyond the ring, and that was the turning point.
Well, Nikki and I are really big into affirmations, and we're all told, whether you're an athlete, an actor, anyone who has a face on television, you're always told you're replaceable. But her and I, our affirmation was, we are not replaceable. And we always told each other that. And to this day, we still feel we are not replaceable.
We are not.
That's it,
that
there.
Is it.
You can fire me, but I'm not replaceable
at all.
That's for sure. I'm just meant to be somewhere else.
But knowing your worth and running with it, and not running away from it because it's scary, and taking a chance on yourself, like betting on yourself is the most beautiful gift you can give.
For sure.
And I don't think enough women do it. And between wine, beauty, business, media, like y'all really have built an empire. Here is where I'm curious. The business, work life, and the family life. How do you both keep it together? Like it didn't work out so well, but I was married to my teammate, and it was fucking hard to do the family life and the business life together. And it was like, okay, we can try to stay as buttoned as we can, but sometimes those lines are blurry and are hard, and money creeps in, competitiveness creeps in. How have you done this for so long and separated
the two work family life balance?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is we let go of ego a long time ago. And that's been a big thing for us. So that part, because for Nikki and I, there's going to be times Nikki's doing more than me. And then there's going to be times I'm going to be doing stuff. And like, Nikki went through a hard divorce last year. And I never once was like, she needed time to herself and figure herself out. And I was like, I got everything. I'll do solo episodes on the podcast. I hope they're good. I don't know. We'll see. And even with the wine brand, I stepped in because Nikki, there was stuff. And I think if I had ego, I would have been like counting how much I was doing compared to her. But instead, I wanted to help. And I think that's why we've been the greatest tag team. It's not only in the ring, but I think outside the ring, we've known how to show up and be there for each other. And I feel like that's made me a better mom, a better wife. I feel like she knows there's times I'm like, my husband still travels and I'm like, he and I just need a weekend together, and she'll get it and be like, let me take over at the, tasting room. So I think just her and I having good communication, it's made us better moms and being able to balance personal and business.
And I think as well as we know each other's strengths and weaknesses, and we know each other's even though we're identical twins, we understand each other's personality traits very well. She knows things that make me grumpy. I know things that make her grumpy. And we've had to work on that. That didn't just happen. We had to have a life coach. We had to have people help us iron out those things. I also doing family life and work life. We've made sure that we do things we're passionate about, so it doesn't feel like work and we don't carry that into the home. And then also things that our children can be involved. So we knew moving to Napa Valley, we get to be hands-on in our wine brand, but then we get to bring the kids out for farming, for harvesting.
Oh my gosh.
They get to learn about things. We pop them into the speakeasy and they're right there with us doing things at times. That. And so we've made sure to do things where we can involve them. And I still feel like there are days that I'm trying to figure out balance because I'm a big yes person and I have to teach myself to say no to things, or I'm just always thinking ideas or how can we do this and can do that. So I'm still on that journey of finding the perfect balance, but because I love being a mom and I know that's first and I love all the stuff we do, whether it's our companies, wrestling, at least I'm not drowning in my unbalance, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So when things don't feel balanced, I'm still so happy with everything that I'm doing that when you're on the lack of sleep, it's like, it's fine.
You say it often though. You both are very, you're mindful. You do the work. You do the affirmations. You give yourself grace. Like all of these things are so vital and so important. I wish I was a lot more gentle on myself as a young professional, because no one, that was the thing for me. I was so fucking hard on myself. Like sometimes I'm like, let yourself off the mat, dude. Right. It's not life or death. And you speak about motherhood so beautifully. And it changed my perspective on so much. But I'm curious, as you both are unbelievable moms, has that changed your perspective on success and ambition? And you talk about balance and all of these things. I would have been such a good player if I could have balanced being a mom during my whole entire career. Because my lens completely fucking changed once I started having kids.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Even with me.
Wild.
I mean, I walked away from the ring because I thought to myself, stability for my children. Yeah. And, there's some women, they do a great job of bringing the kids on the road and handling it all. But I realized I'm not meant that. I wasn't made that way. I'm more of a homemaker. I like my kids to have a schedule the way I had a schedule as a child. Go to school, come home, go outside and play. I have chickens, I garden, I make them a part of it all. And that's just the way that motherhood works for me. And I give credit to the women who travel. But when I say travel, they bring their kids, because I still travel as a mom. My husband and I, it's been great. We sit down and we, really go over our schedules. Sometimes we both look at each other and will we ever see each other? Because we take turns, going out and doing our work. But I think the most important thing for anyone is to figure out the mom you want to be and the life that you want to give your kids. Because there's not a wrong answer. It's just figuring out that answer and then doing it. Because if you're kind of confused on the way you want to raise your children, I think that's when motherhood becomes tough. Like, I know exactly how I want them to be raised, and we do it, and there's no confusion. It's just like, this is what it is, you know?
And it has to be aligned, you know, with your partner.
Oh, for
That's
sure.
the biggest thing. Like, if you're not on the same page on how you want to do this,
oh my gosh,
that gets sticky real quick.
Oh, so sticky. And, you know, I was a lot like you. It fully changed me becoming a mom. Like, I just became selfless. Like I was just such a hustler and so focused on the career. And it also changed me though as a businesswoman, where I realized I'm going to work enough to have great success, but enough to where I know we'll have a good life. And I don't need more than that. I just need enough to have an incredible life, make sure everything for him in the future is great. But I want to take in every moment. I don't want to look back and go, oh, I miss these big moments with him. I want to be present. And that's even in my companies, I want to be present. But like being present is so big for me. And it's funny, the goals I used to have before him, even of like certain like numbers that I wanted, whether it was our companies or myself to get to. And it's crazy how much that's changed, because now I'm like, this is all we need for this or that. And then I get all this amazing time to go get pumpkins and carve them or whatever it might be. Go to a fall festival. You realize that's like the real wealth in life.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Like that.
Yeah. I completely agree. And, you know, I know we were talking about this earlier with the landscape of the world and how we want to raise these beautiful children. And all of us have boys.
Yeah.
And we have, I'm not going to say it lightly, a huge obligation to raise these children in this current landscape and environment on how they choose to show up, especially how they choose to treat women.
Yeah,
and you two, or us three, we're powerful women who run and play in a male-dominated world, in male spaces. Like, how do you raise your boys? Like how do you, like, what are the greatest lessons you're teaching them right now? Because it is so important. And I think we need to make sure we're holding ourselves accountable as we give these young boys the tools to navigate this world.
For sure. I mean, the biggest thing is compassion. I think you can teach compassion. Everyone's born with it, but to still instill it in our children is a huge thing to me. And also manners, respect, even Buddy. And I always tell them, like, ladies first, because I think being a gentleman goes a long way. Now, granted, I'll open doors up for men and I don't care. Like, I don't need to always go in first, but it's teaching like our boys to be gentlemen to me.
Yes.
Like, it's gentleness. I want them to be gentleman. Like, so I'm really big with Buddy, especially my son is wild. He is as
all of these boys out here.
All of
oh
them.
my gosh. So I'm like, you know, the gentle part I think is very important to teach our boys to be gentle.
Yes. And I always instill kindness. I tell Mateo, we constantly are using that word kindness. I'm saying how kind he is when he does certain things. I'm like, that was so kind. Or when someone does something for him, I always make sure to point that out. And I'm going to raise him where he will be very respectful with women. Like and what is so great, this was really cute. He said this a little bit ago. He asked me if I could be a Lego master. And I was like, you know, baby, mommy's just not the greatest at building Legos, but that's something you and your daddy do. And I bet you and daddy both can be Lego masters. I'm like, what do you think mommy can be then? And he goes, Mommy, you know, you work really hard. You're a hard worker. That's what you are. And like my heart, I was like, oh my gosh, you noticed.
I love that.
Yeah.
And it's just what I've realized too with these boys, because they have badass, powerful moms.
Yes.
They're watching us. So they're already going to have an appreciation for women because of how we are, which is amazing. You realize they watch more than us talking to them. And so I'm always mindful about being that leader in the home and what he sees.
For sure.
And how I am with others in my interaction. But I am going to make sure, like, I always joke, and it's funny because people on social media like go after me because I always am like, yeah, I'm raising a feminist gentleman. And people get so mad with that word feminist. And I'm like, no, the thing is my son is going to respect and appreciate women and their hard work and know that he's an equal with them. He's not better because he's a man, but he could be a gentleman, but he's just going to appreciate people for what they do.
Yeah.
It's going to be nothing with what they look like, who they are.
Right.
It's just going to be how they give things.
Exactly. And Nikki, I love that you said this because we are in the landscape of giving people permission to be very cruel and like spiteful and hateful. And I'm curious, like, because I've experienced it and it penetrates. Like, you can say what you want about me as a public like person and the way I move as an athlete, and you can be an asshole all you want, but you don't know me as a mom. Like, you don't know how I operate, how I am with my kids. Like, that's such a sacred space. How do you two protect your peace? Because people are fucking awful. And it's like the amount of abuse that I see and I read, I'm like, whoa, even if I try not to read it, it is always there. So how are you two protecting, your home and your family and your peace when it comes to the way you're moving in the life as public figures?
Yeah. My husband, he and I promised each other, we're like, there's so much that's out of our control. And we're like, but what we can control is our environment with our family. And we always say we have our positive bubble. And like we have the control of how our home feels, who steps into our home, what we surround our kids with, and that's people, what they watch on television, what we, do as a family. And so I believe like really having that bubble. And then when it comes to social media, I mean, I'm going to be 42, so I'm just like guns a-blazing with the middle finger.
This one does not care. She's amazing at it.
I like can give two shits. It almost makes me like giggle when people like say shit about me because I'm like whatever. Yeah. It's like funny. But like I've been able to really work hard on like I don't get bothered by any of that.
Right. And great. For me, like what I've realized is I had to like I post Mateo way less. Because I don't want to give people the opportunity. And then I got into a place where I really wanted to protect him, and especially how public the divorce got. Yeah. And just so many untrue things out there and just lies and all that. Like it made the lioness was always there. Like we're there the moment these babies come into our world, right? But it really, I grew king of the jungle. Like I'm going to protect my cub. And then I started to realize so much too is why do I give people certain moments? I did it for a decade on TV, and then I'll share these moments with you. But you then a second later are such a terrible human being. So it really made me protect it. And people will still say things like, I got a little triggered earlier because someone goes, you're never with your son. And I've had to correct people so many times. I go, let's reword this sentence. I never post my son. There's a difference and my life coach has taught me, okay, if that was triggering, why? And today I had to tell myself that was triggering to me because I work so hard as a mom every day that no one sees, day in and day out. They don't know the days. And that triggered me because I'm tired and I've had we've had a long maybe week or whatever, and I'm not being appreciated. I don't have
for sure.
So I was like, okay, that was my trigger, and now I'm good. Nicole, appreciate yourself. You were such great. You were in a robe and drove Mateo to see out air balloons Sunday morning. You were pretty much naked, but he got to see them land. And you know what I mean?
It's so good. So, you two, you've done so much, and you've, everyone knows how fantastic you've been with your careers, and you were trailblazers to really open the doors and show what's possible for women to do what you do and make a great living doing it. For two women who do so much, what's next?
Goodness.
What do we check? I mean, you've checked almost every box, I assume.
know.
But there's got to be something.
Yeah.
Right?
What were we
give me
just
something.
Yeah, we were just talking about something the other day we wanted to put on our vision board. What was it?
Was it owning a winery by 50?
Well, not that.
That's one of them. There was something.
There was something we wanted. I mean, Nikki and I, we've always talked about a talk show because we're like, it would be super fun. But then sometimes her and I look at the schedule and we're like, is that?
I go, when the kids leave the home, that's when we're empty nesters. We could go there. I told her that. I'm like, that's way down the road. I know for me, I would love just getting a taste of being in Happy Gilmore too. And a lot of our storylines got cut, but I really enjoyed being on set. And what I liked about it is my character was so different from who I am. And that's what I love about wrestling too, when I get to be a bad guy, that I was I missed that kind of fun play of being a character. So I would love to do more movies, but that only kept me on set for 3 weeks on and off. I can't go do a movie for 3 months. I don't know how people do that as parents and have careers. You know what I mean? That's so right. Oh yes. I didn't even think.
Yeah.
That would be too hard on me.
That's why my 40th birthday is in New York City. The day after my birthday, she goes to Ottawa to shoot a movie. So,
see.
So, no Majorca for me.
No Majorca.
Well, we'll all go to Majorca.
So
How
this
about that?
this surprise party better be.
Better be good. Majorca better come to you.
It better come to me. There better be a beautiful ocean view somewhere. They better bring sand in. I don't care. It better feel like Majorca.
It better.
Oh my God.
I love that.
Honestly, with you both. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you both for coming on the show. And I know we have so much in common. I've been so grateful for our time that we get to spend. What I love so much is not, the jobs that we've done to give us the platforms we have. It's the way we show up for women, the way we show up to advocate for women. We really want to change this world and make it better. And I find that such a beautiful gift, and what a cool opportunity to leave this place better than we found it. And you two live it. So I have been drawn to you since the moment we've met, and we've got we got to keep fighting like hell and keep living our truth and being as authentic as we can. So Nikki and Brie, appreciate you both being on the show, and until the next time we kick it together and have a little sippy
exactly.
I would love it.
You guys need to come to us here in Napa Valley.
Done.
Come to our tasting room.
Yes.
We'll
get a week because
massages, wine tasting. We'll do it all.
You had me at massage and wine.
I know.
I mean,
I'm that kind of girly now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I love it. And anytime you need two badasses to show up for some extra voices, we got your back. So
done.
We're here in the fight with you.
We roll in a deep group. I love that.
Yeah, you do.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in for another episode of Wide Open with Ashlyn Harris. Nikki, Brie, you are a dreamboat, both of you. And I know we're going to have many more conversations to come. But until next time, we'll see you next week.
Yes.
Okay.
Bye.